that's another fun thing. Now we'll talk about some texture fades. There's some new designs here. So one of the things that I did, I designed a bunch of new shapes. Let me kind of sort these out a little bit. We did a wood grain, a little simpler wood grain than the first brick and wood grain. I wanted to do something that didn't have a giant knot hole in there, but still had some cool kind of rough texture. I did waves and bubbles. I did some nautical dyes. I did a seahorse, sand dollar, so the waves and bubbles really complemented that. I love this drapery one. It has a great scallop edge, so it's really a fun design because this is great to kind of come out the sides of photos as a mat. You can cut it if you want to create a scallop border on anywhere, the top and the bottom. I thought that was good. This set's really fun because this is artful arrows, and this is also a full alphabet die. So I like that. I like that we can just create a full background, because if you were doing something, I don't know, for a birthday or something, you can go in and highlight their initial, or I don't know. I kind of think weird in my head. But one of the things I really liked, and I don't know where the other piece is, I did a bunch of mini textures. So the whole idea behind the mini texture was to be able to use the diffusers. A lot of people want to use the embossing diffusers, but I didn't have a real busy all over pattern. So if you diffuse like something like this, you kind of lose the effect. You wanted something small. All of these designs coordinate with the framework shape. So I did that all over pattern. I did this all over pattern right here. I did the chevron all over pattern. I did the honeycomb, and I have this. And it's all that, so there's a red one somewhere. But it's all a much smaller pattern. And so there again, if you want to keep that shape with your frameworks, now you can emboss the background and use parts and pieces of your frames. It's really cool. Yeah, I think frameworks, I mean, the reason I wanted to do like a collage for these samples is because I picture a lot of different artists doing their little collage pieces, their little samples, and then just cutting them up and putting little bits of their artwork into projects. You know what I mean? That's what's so fun about it. Yeah, it's using little snippets of stuff, or you know, maybe you have some ephemera, maybe you have a map or cards or something from a trip and you don't want to use the whole thing because it's not that good. Just die cut it and use the different shapes and pieces of it. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I do. So, any questions on anything? It's cool. It's cool new stuff at Sizzix. Seriously. And you got to check out the booths because the booth rocks. Yeah, all the things that we did. Just, yeah, Debbie Adams, who's here, she's the one that's behind like all of that creation. It's really cool, and some very talented designers did that. So you see that beautiful box right there with the butterfly and dragonfly? You see that? It's pretty amazing. The artist right there is Heather. Heather made that art. Look, she's like, my skin now. Yeah. It's cool though. I mean, like for me as a designer, the most rewarding thing is coming to the show and seeing what all the talented people do with the stuff that is designed. It's the best. I already know what I want to do with it. It's in my head. So when I see what other people want to do with it, it's like this. You know what I mean? It's the most rewarding thing is someone to say, wow, you made that with that. I mean, you have to know from being in the creative, that's what keeps us all excited, right? Because you're going to see it as one thing, but then when you go on something like Pinterest or something and you're like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought to make that with that. Yeah, that's what I find is the best thing about coming to CHA, is like seeing what people do with, you know, you see all the sneak peeks and you're like, okay, package thing, wood blocks, letterpress, or a lot of people talk about this. They're like, okay, I saw it on your blog, I'll be honest, didn't get it. Yeah, you know, they're like, okay, I want to cut that, why? But then when they see the versatility and how you can build on the front of a journal or, you know, create some texture, do gesso over the top, even use it as a stencil or screen, because let's say I wanted to use it as a stencil. I have the ability to pop out whatever windows I want when I'm stenciling. So you can use it that way and then fill in the ones that you want to change out. So it's pretty cool. Any questions on this stuff? It's awesome, I know. I'm gonna grab some other